it's Becoming Her, the channel where I talk about all things computer science. And today we are going to be focused on FAANG, the big N, large tech companies, whatever you prefer to call them. And if you're a noob to CS, you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Like, we talk about CS vampires, or are we talking about Maximum Ride? Why is she talking about FAANG? I will get into that, don't worry, but for the most of you who do know what FAANG is, you probably want an internship there, or to spend a little bit of time there at the very least, just to check out what it's about. If that is not for you, if you're like,
my ethics prevent me from ever going to one of those FAANG companies,
that's okay. Maybe you prefer startups or unicorns or a fintech, that's fine. Comment that below and let me know so then I can make a video on how to get into one of those areas too, right? But today we are focused on FAANG, and before I start anything, I'm going to remind you of my background. I am a rising senior at Carnegie Mellon University. I am a CS major, and just as background, since it pertains to this particular video, I have had 2 FAANG internship offers this past recruiting season, but I'm not going to tell you which companies they were since it really doesn't matter. I have friends in the other 3 companies. These tips will help you get into any of them. Now, before I move on to the actual tips, just for those CS noobs out there who keep hearing me throw around the term FAANG and still think it's talking about CS vampires or something, FAANG is actually a term that a lot of CS people use. It is an acronym that stands for the largest tech companies, FAANG. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Now, if you take a moment to think about that, you might wonder why one of these companies is there and another one isn't. And hint, hint, it's Netflix. Netflix doesn't really hire new grads, so getting an internship there might not necessarily convert to a new grad position, unlike all of the other big N companies that we are talking about here. In fact, I believe that this is the first year they've even had interns at all at Netflix. So there is a tech company, however, that does take a lot of interns and hires a lot of new grads and, likes to convert their interns to new grads. And they are huge in the tech scene. Now, what company could that be? Oh yeah, it's Microsoft. So we're gonna replace Netflix in this acronym with Microsoft. The term FAANG actually was coined by Jim Cramer for talking about companies that have a lot of potential in stocks. So it doesn't really fit with the discussion that we're having today. But as you can see, FAANG doesn't really sound great. Obviously, FAANG rolls off the tongue a lot better, and that is what most people kind of use FAANG for, or the big N companies for. So I'm still gonna say FAANG, but just know throughout this video, whenever I say FAANG, I really mean with Microsoft instead of Netflix. All right, now we can actually get to the tips part, the fun part of the video, and we're gonna start with tip number 0, because if you do not start counting from 0, are you really a CS person, though? I mean, come on. Number 0, apply early. And by early, I mean July to August. Basically, apply whenever the applications come out at all for these companies, and they will come out at different times. It's not like everyone releases it at the exact same day or anything like that. They will come out probably July, early August, something like that. And you want to get your application in that portal as soon as you see it open. I will link some resources down below to wonderful people who keep track of when companies open these applications. It's not the same day every single year, so it really does depend. You do have to keep a lookout for it. But the reason why I'm saying apply early is because it is crucial. This is probably the biggest thing that I feel like holds people back that I've seen basically screwed people over when they're a decent candidate for these FAANG companies and they still don't get that internship, it is because they didn't apply early. It is really tempting to just not think about internship applications until school starts. But the thing is, depending on when your school starts, it could be late August, once you're a few weeks in, it could be early to late September. And at that point, there's already going to be hundreds of applications submitted before yours. The companies have already given out maybe a third, a fourth of their offers for the next summer before you even get your application in. That is not good, guys. You want to be submitting your application as early as possible. That way you have less competition because there aren't that many people who have submitted yet. So if you're a decent candidate, you can stand out more. And if you submit it later, late September, early October, when there's already a bunch of spots taken, then you're competing with other people who are decent candidates. You have to be even better than them to get those interviews and get that internship in the long run. Since there's less spots, there's just more competition. You do not want to be in that scenario. Obviously, it's already really hard to get these internships, so just making it harder for yourself is not a good idea. You need to get it in early. And when I say that in a day or two, there's going to be hundreds of applications in already, I mean it. If you miss it by a whole week, there's probably going to be hundreds to maybe 1,000 applications in front of yours. These companies are huge. Obviously, lots and lots and lots of people are applying to them, and they have a lot of candidates to choose from. So you're just going to be a little fish in the sea of many. You want to get there early, make sure that you have the best chances to be picked for an interview. And do not worry if you do not think that your resume is ready yet. If you are currently in some sort of internship or a research project or doing some sort of personal project, but you're like, I won't be able to finish it in time for July, August, and I won't be able to talk about it, I can't put it on my resume, just put it on your resume now. Because the companies actually won't get back to you for at least a month to maybe 6 weeks. They won't really start getting back to you until early September or even October-ish. And at that point, you're going to have finished your project or your internship, and you'll be able to talk about it a lot. It does not mean that you're just going to get your interview the next day if you apply on the first day it opens. It does not mean that at all. It's going to take at least a month, even if you apply on the first day it opens or the first couple days. So do not worry about that. You'll still have time to prepare for your interviews, to do all your LEET code. So just do not worry. Apply now. I really cannot stress this enough. Just do it, guys. Just do it. Trust me. Submit that resume. Then it's just the first step out of the way, and you can finally begin your FAANG internship journey. All right, moving on to number 1, networking. You specifically want to be reaching out to the recruiter that is responsible for your school for a specific company. Or if there isn't one for your school, usually there will be one if you are a target school, but if there is not one for your school, then you want to find the recruiter that is kind of responsible for your region, West Coast, East Coast, South, North, and you want to reach out to them. Basically, you want to write them an email that says something along the lines of, "Hi, I applied to your SWE internship position a few weeks ago. I am super interested in it. Over the last few weeks, I have done whatever personal project stuff. If you have any more questions or if there's any information that I can give you to help speed up the process, let me know." Basically, you want to send an email to them for them to actually look at your resume. You really, really, really want someone to actually look at your resume, because otherwise it's just sitting there and maybe it didn't pass a resume screening test, and you don't know that. They will not tell you until all the applications are done with in January, February, March, I don't know. And at that point, obviously it's too late. So a few weeks after you have submitted your application, if you haven't heard anything, you want to email a recruiter from that company. How do you get this recruiter's email? Well, if you have ever gone to a virtual event with that company, or if you have ever talked to their company at a career fair at your university, then you will probably have that recruiter's email. They will be the person from that company who says, hey, come to our company event today. Email that recruiter. If you do not have a recruiter's email, then just go on LinkedIn, type in university recruiter, whatever company you're looking for, and there will be just lots and lots of recruiters. Try to look for one that is responsible for your school or for the geographical region that your university is at, and email that person or message them on LinkedIn. Generally, these recruiters get lots and lots of messages on LinkedIn, so they might not reply to your message, but they have a higher chance of actually replying to their work email. Don't find out their personal email and email that. That is just weird. Find their work email and then email that. Also attach your resume in that email. Definitely attach your resume so that they have easy access to your resume to look at. On a similar note, number 2, referrals. A lot of people think that referrals equals internship offer, and that is not the case at all, especially at these FAANG companies. A referral just means that you are guaranteed someone will look at your resume, which is a huge deal, guys, because for a lot of you, you are totally qualified to at least get interviews for these internships, but for some reason, your resume kind of falls flat and you never actually get the opportunity to show all of the skills that you have. So having someone actually look at your resume and knowing that it will happen, and knowing that they're giving you a fair chance, is a huge deal. So definitely referrals are great. Ideally, referrals will come from people that you know. So this could be an upperclassman that you know interned there or works at the company. It could be a family member. It could be a family friend. However you know that person, ask them for a referral. Chances are they will definitely help you out. But if you do not know anyone at the specific company you're trying to get a referral for, then easy. Go on LinkedIn. Why are you not writing this down? Get a pencil and paper and write this down. Go on LinkedIn, type in the company name, and LinkedIn will literally tell you, oh, all of these alumni work at that specific company. Click on that, find an alumni that does the role that you want to, whether it be production engineering or suite or whatever. Message a few of those people on LinkedIn. Say, hi, I see that you're an alumni from my school and you work at this company. I am super interested in possibly interning at that company. I was wondering if I could meet up with you virtually and just ask you a few questions about what your experience at the company has been like and how you got to the company. And chances are at least one person will get back to you saying, yeah, sure, let's set up a Zoom call. I say message a couple people because ideally you want this to move a little bit quicker, so the faster you can get a referral, the better. So set up a call with one of these alumni, and during that call, ask them questions. This is not just a call to be like, oh, can you give me a referral? It is, but you actually want to learn something from this. This is a chance for you to really gauge the company, learn more about its culture, learn more about how it works, learn more about the people who work there. And the alumni will be truthful to you. They will want to help you since they've already agreed to this meeting. Ask them questions. What do they like about the company? What do they not like about the company? How did they get to the company? What was their path? Did they have an internship or did they apply new grad? Did they transfer from a different company? Ask them opinions on all sorts of things. Make it an engaging conversation. Really show your interest. And then at the very end of this meeting, ask them for a referral. Don't be shy. They probably know that it's coming, considering you're reaching out. They're an alumni for the company. You're clearly interested in the company. Chances are they will probably say yes, since they have already allowed you to schedule time with them, and they probably want to help you. They understand the struggle of getting into these companies, so they will definitely want to help a student who is struggling for that. So don't be shy, ask them for a referral, and already have prepared a Google Doc or an email with your resume. That way they can have easy access to your resume and also attach it to the referral. 2, a little blurb about yourself, about your hobbies, about the projects that you have worked on already, maybe some things that would be able to show that you are a good candidate for a specific position. And then lastly, tell them why you want to work for that specific company. It gives them a great detail, it allows them to write a better referral, and it should be convincing and it should be true. These should be reasons why you like that company and why you are really interested and why you're going to so much effort just to get a referral so that someone can look at your resume for this company. Make sure that you have those 3 things already ready. That way when your person says, yeah, sure, I'll give you a referral, you can give it to them on the spot and hopefully you'll get a referral out of that. I will note that you do not need a referral to get a FAANG internship. For both of my FAANG internship offers, I did not have a referral when I applied. I simply just applied to their portal early, which is why I say that it is really crucial to apply early. But I will say if you cannot get a referral, it is not that big of a deal because it is definitely still possible for you to get that internship. Switching gears to number 3, show interest. Show interest in the company. I know you're thinking, it's a FAANG company, why do I need to show interest? Clearly, everyone wants to be there because it's FAANG. Yes, but the company itself is trying to find people who want to be at their specific company. Even though they're all big tech companies, they have very different feels, they have very different cultures, they have different values and different expectations of their employees, and they are different. So you want to learn about these companies and show that you are actually interested in that specific company. This will still help you. The company isn't just hiring you because you're a coding robot. They're hiring your entire person, your entire personality. And with that, how much interest do you have in the company? Obviously, they don't want a bunch of people working for them who don't care about their products at all. So this is still very important. Now, how do you show interest in the company, you're asking? Well, I'm glad you asked. You do this by going to their career fairs. I know you're just saying, oh no, I don't want to go to their career fairs. I understand. It is a long line. Maybe it takes 2 hours just to maybe talk to an engineer from Google or a recruiter from Microsoft. And promise you, it was probably worth it. Not because you're talking to their engineers for 5 minutes now. What is worth it is signing into their company, getting your information into their system, because every time you go to one of their booths, you have to put your email, your resume, your name, your graduate year, all that stuff into a tablet or a computer to show that you're signing in. And you do this for every single event that they host. If there's some sort of tech talk on your university campus, you're gonna have to do the same thing. If you're doing a virtual call or an alumni meetup, they're gonna ask you to sign in. And every single time, you're getting your information into their system. That way, when a recruiter actually sees your resume, they can see, oh, this person's been to 4 or 6 events for our company. Clearly, they actually care about our company and are actually interested in interning here versus someone who maybe has the same sort of resume as you. They have the same experience, they go to the same school, but they haven't shown up to any of the events that you have. The recruiter's probably gonna say, I'm more likely to give the person who has shown that they actually are interested in our company an interview because we already have some sort of guarantee that this person actually cares about our company versus the other person probably just applied because they're applying to all the FAANG companies. I mean, who doesn't? But at the same time, it's still true. The recruiter is more likely to go to choose someone who shows interest in the company, which is why getting your names into these sign-in sheets are so important. anything that can help you stand out among these applicants is a win. So definitely make sure you're going to these events. And at the same time, when you get your email into their system, they will actually have events specifically for undergraduate students or graduate students and give you talks, invite you to panels where you can ask recruiters questions about this whole recruitment process. And these recruiters will tell you when the best time to apply is, what sorts of things you should be talking about during your interviews, what things you should expect for your interviews, the whole timeline, what they expect from you as an intern. All of these things they will be sharing with you, but only if you have your email in their system, because they're going to email you and they're going to say, hey, do you want to join us for this talk with a recruiter, for this panel of engineers? And you're going to want to learn more about the company, so you're going to go and you're going to get your name in their system again. And it is just a positive feedback loop. I know that Facebook has a 3-day event in the summer where they invite students who have applied to them before or have their email in their system, and they say, hey, come join us. We have all these panelists. We talk about what boot camp is like. We talk about what internships are like. We talk about how to make yourself stand out when you are trying to get an internship. And all of that is very valuable information. All of these companies have stuff like that. So definitely get your name in there. Also, when a recruiter emails you, now you have a recruiter's email. And so you can email them back when you apply to these things. Even if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you don't think that you're qualified to do an internship at FAANG, first of all, they actually have freshman, sophomore programs. Most of these companies have some sort of program for freshmen and sophomores. So definitely you can still apply to those. And even if you don't think that you're good enough, eventually you will be. So you want to hold on to that recruiter's email. You want to make sure that you have your name in their system. All right, moving on to number 4. But this one really isn't a tip for getting your FAANG internship, guys. It's more of just a way of dealing with the outcome. It's okay if you don't get a FAANG internship. I know this whole video is hyping up FAANG internships because you guys are excited to shoot your shot and try to get your internship there, but I want you to know that it doesn't really matter that much if you don't get a FAANG internship this recruitment season. It doesn't really say anything about you as a person if you don't get a FAANG internship. I know that the CS community really loves to hype up FAANG internships, and if you get one, you're some sort of CS god or whatever, but you're really not. You're still an intern. There's still so much to learn, guys. And if you do get one, a lot of times people will bash you and say,
oh, well, I would never want to work for that company
because whatever reason, and they'll try to make you feel bad. They'll say,
oh, you only got the internship because you're a girl or because you're a URM.
Whatever it is, people will have all these sorts of reactions to whether you get a FAANG internship or not. And I'm here to tell you that it really doesn't matter what people think or what people say. Not getting a FAANG internship does not mean that you're not a good engineer. It does not mean that you're not going to be a good engineer. It doesn't even mean that you're not going to end up at that company anyways. Because if you really want to be at one of these FAANG companies, you're going to get there one day. You can apply for the internship again next year. Or if you can't have any more internships, you can apply to be a new grad at that company. Obviously, there's a few more hoops that you have to jump through when you're actually trying to be a new grad, but I believe that you can do it with more practice and a little bit more luck. I do want to emphasize that there is an element of luck in this internship process. There is a little bit of luck as to whether a recruiter will see your resume. Obviously not if you have a referral, but otherwise there's luck on that. There's luck on what sorts of interview questions you get, who your interviewer is, how they feel that day, how well you do, how you feel that day. There's so many variables, guys, and at least most of them have to probably align for you to get that internship. So if one of these things didn't happen, then it's not your fault a lot of the times. A lot of times It's something that might be out of your control, and there's really no point in dwelling on that. Just learn your lesson. If it is something that you did, if you didn't prepare well enough, if your resume wasn't good enough, but it really isn't that big of a deal at the end of the day. And if you did get a FAANG internship, then oh my god, congratulations! Revel in that. I'm proud of you. I'm sure you deserve it. Do not let people tell you that you don't deserve it. I know sometimes this happens as well. Suddenly you have your FAANG internship and people are really salty and jealous that you got your internship, and they're saying,
oh, well, it doesn't really matter that much. Why are you so proud?
Don't let them dull your shine. It is something to be proud of course. And you definitely deserve it, because I do not believe that there is one intern who got in who just kind of did nothing and just got super lucky and didn't really care and just got their internship. No, most people who get it actually worked really hard for it, and they definitely deserve it. But like anything, a lot of people who do also deserve it just won't get the chance to do it. And that really shouldn't say anything about your character. Do not let that affect your self-esteem. Do not let that affect your confidence in your programming skills or your engineering skills. Always make sure that you're still focused on yourself and that you're trying to just do better. That's all we can do at the end of the day, right? Really doesn't matter if you do not get a FAANG internship. Please, please, please don't think that this is the only thing that defines you. Even though you study this for your major, even though you chose this for your career, there's so many chances, there's so many companies out there. As I said, I will be doing videos on all different sorts of companies, so FAANG isn't the only thing out there that would ever make you happy. It can't possibly be. So, it's okay. You'll be fine. Alright guys, those are all the tips that I have for how to get your coveted FAANG internship. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like down below. That way other people will know that I'm not just spewing BS out here. I mean, I guess you technically wouldn't know if I was, but I promise I'm not. These are all things that I learned when I tried to get a FAANG internship, and obviously after I've gotten FAANG internship offers, I know what works and what doesn't work and all the mistakes that I've made. And so this channel is all about sharing those things with you guys so you can streamline your success. You don't have to learn the things that I learned the hard way again. Hopefully you can learn them the easy way by just watching my YouTube videos. I will also be posting videos on resume stuff, on how to prepare for your technical interviews, on what to do during your technical interviews, on how to network, how do you leverage all of these resources that you as a computer science student have. I will be covering all of those things, so remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way you will know when those videos come out and I can continue to help you out, hopefully. Now go and apply to that FAANG internship, email those recruiters, network, show that you are interested in those companies. Go do it right now. Actually, before you do that, subscribe, but go. That is Becoming Her, signing out.